Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope everything is fantastic. Everything here is pretty great. We're getting some snow. Supposed to have 3 to 5 inches tonight, so that could be a little crazy, but I love snow, so I don't care. I just finished Immortals Fenyx Rising from Ubisoft, and that game was fantastic. Like everything about that game, I loved. It was just what I enjoy. It was just kind of a really beautiful world, even on a Nintendo Switch. In fact, I saw a PS5 and Xbox. I saw some of those videos, and I prefer the Switch version. The Switch version didn't try to put too much detail in. It's kind of cartoonish, and it was just gorgeous. It's a beautiful game with lots of stuff to collect on the map, to travel around and see cool sights, and it's very laid back. There's good puzzles. They're not always good. Some of them are okay, but there's fun puzzles. There's side challenges. There's main challenge. It was so good, and the storyline was great. I really liked the exploration of the Greek gods. I really liked the humor that Zeus and Prometheus, who are the narrators of the story, the humor they brought to it, the humor all the gods brought to it, it was fantastic. I hope there's more, because it was one of those games that I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was like a B tier title or something. I got it for $23 or something like that, so I was expecting it to be eh. Turned out I spent probably 100 to 120 hours on it. It's only like a 30-hour game, like if you just play through the storyline. But I did all the things because it was just so enjoyable to travel around and see all the sights. Anyway, that's not the point, but that is my review, I guess. For me, I play video games to relax, and it was a very relaxing game. There were definitely some challenges that were frustrating. But they were few and far between. And when they were frustrating, it didn't take me 20 tries to get it right. It took, 5 to 10. So with frustrating things like that, I can deal with it. But what I really wanted to talk about was that post-game depression, right? That post-game, well, now what do I do? Because for a while, for 120 hours, right? For a large chunk of my time, I've had this fun hobby of playing this game. And when that ends, it's often like, well, what do I do now? I don't have something else in the queue. I'm not invested in anything. I just invested a whole lot of time and energy into this. What do I do? And a lot of times, at least past me, that led to a slump. It led to just me kind of going, I don't know what to do with my life now that that's over. And talking to M when I finished it, you have the New Game Plus option. I have never played a New Game Plus. I don't get the point of it. I don't want to replay the game. The game is still fresh in my mind, so why would I do that? There is DLC. The first DLC is already out for the game. There will be more, but I'm not really willing to drop a bunch of money right now on that. I might in the future, because I did enjoy it that much. I've never played the DLC for Zelda, for Breath of the Wild. I've never played it. And this game is very Breath of the Wild. It's so much influence, it's ridiculous. But the point is, that post-game depression, what do you do? What do you do when you finish it? Well, for me, I have a whole lot of projects to work on, right? I've been working on projects while doing that. I made a chair. I made a bath thing. I'm working on, I'm going to be making, I picked up some little plants. I'm going to make some little planters with some fake dirt in them. I'm going to make baskets out of scrap wood. I have a whole lot of that, but that doesn't fill the same void. One of the reasons I play video games is story. I love story, and I want to play a game that's got a good, rich story that really involves me as the player. And so when it's done, and that story is complete, well, I just move on to a different story. And the good news is, I've discovered books again. I took 6 months off of reading. I didn't read for the whole first half of, even longer, of 2020 until I got the Kindle. And then I've read 30 or 40 books since. So the good news is when you have a hobby like that, when your hobby is stories, I enjoy stories. I enjoy playing video games because I enjoy the story. I don't necessarily love the gamey elements. I don't play gamey games. I don't play a whole lot of platformers that don't really have a point. I don't play a lot of just fighting action games. I play games for story. And so I play RPGs and things that are just more involved. And it's because the story is what I'm after. I'm not after the gameplay. I'm not after mastering speedruns. I'm after just enveloping myself in a world for a little while. So when the hobby is the story, it's really easy to bounce around between books, video games, maybe movies even can fill that void, or TV. I try not to spend too much time in front of that because I just feel like I'm being completely unproductive. But a lot of times working in the shop, I've told you before that I can't really do audiobooks. They don't work for me, especially down here, because I will listen to a little bit and then I turn a tool on and I can't hear it anymore and then it goes away. I have wireless earbuds, but I have to stop wearing them because I have super waxy ears. So I either get like over the head Bluetooth earphones for listening in the shop, or what I do is I have a few favorite podcasts that are kind of short form. Mike Rowe has a podcast called The Way I Heard It. There's the Lore podcast. My friends from Making It. There's This American Life. Over the Road. What's the one about jail? I forget that. But so I turn podcasts on. And podcasts are wonderful stories that I can take in very quickly while I'm working on something. And if I do sand or I'm not missing anything, like I'm not missing a huge chunk of a story. I'm just missing maybe a piece, or maybe I miss a whole episode, but they're 10 minutes or 20 minutes, who cares? So I have lots of stories on the back burner that I needed to get to anyway. I've got books I want to read. I've got tons of podcasts. I didn't listen to podcasts pretty much at all in 2020. So I have a huge back catalog that I need to go through because I really didn't spend time in here. I used to listen to podcasts in the car, so I didn't have any of that in 2020 at all. No commute. But the good news is there's lots of story. So if you find yourself finishing a story and having that slump, like what do I do now? The answer is find a new story, right? You're not really missing the story. In my perspective, I'm not missing the story. I'm missing that time. Like if I spent 3 hours a day playing a video game and then suddenly the video game's over, I've just freed up 3 hours a day. What do I do with that 3 hours? And if you don't have something to fill it, that's what leads to the slump. So I have something to fill it. I have lots of things to fill it. Now it's just time to get it done. But I really enjoyed escaping for a little while into Immortals. So I'm really looking forward to more content because that was super fun. What do you do? Do you experience post-book or post-video game slump? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is enigmatic. It is an adjective meaning mysterious, puzzling, and difficult to figure out. The interest in life does not lie in what people do, nor even what their relations to each other, but largely in the power to communicate with a third party. Anagnostic, enigmatic, yet perhaps persuadable, which one may call life in general. Virginia Woolf, a British essayist and novelist. Enigmatic, E-N-I-G-M-A-T-I-C. I love enigmatic. That's such a good word, like, to describe that figure that walks into your life and makes changes and then just vanishes. Like, what happened to that friend? Where'd they go? They did their job.